All right, so homework 35. It says solving word problem on proportions using a unit rate. So we are going to set up a proportion in order to solve for the missing information. Lisa made $105 for 7 hours of work. So her unit rate is that she makes $105 for 7 hours of work.
Okay, big numbers, might need my calculator.
Yep. You could find out how many dollars per hour she makes it, but because different information is missing at different times, they're going to have you set up a proportion and say, okay, at the same rate, how much would she make for 17 hours of work? I have to be consistent here. If I put the dollars on top, that the dollars are on top of here. How many dollars is she going to make if she works for 17 hours? Did I hear this beep?
No, it might have been my phone.
Okay. Sometimes it turns off on me when the card gets full. So when I solve a proportion, I solve by cross multiplying. So the 7 is going to be times the x, 7x. And then, yes, you probably want to use your calculator, 105 times the 17. So I'm going to take this times this and this times this. When I solve a proportion, I cross multiply, they call it. So if you use your calculator and do 105 times 17,
Times 1,785.
so if I have 7x equals 1,785 to solve it for x, then I'm just going to divide by that 7. So if you take 1785 divided by 7,
$255.
255. So if she makes $105 for 7 hours of work, she's going to make $255 if she works 17 hours. It would make sense that the more hours I work, the more money I'm going to make, right? We'll talk about direct variation in a bit, and that's what that is exactly. Direct variation, if one increases, so does the other one. So again, Kayla drove 605 miles in 11 hours. That's my unit rate. 605 miles in 11 hours. You don't really need the labels there, but just to remind you what you put on top and what you put on the bottom. At the same rate, how long would it take her to drive 495 miles? So on my other side of my proportion, should the 495 go on the top or on the bottom?
Well, it's miles, so it would go on top.
Exactly. So the 495 over how long is it going to take me? So again, I'm going to cross multiply. I usually like to do the pair with the x first because I like my x on the first side. So 605x is going to equal, and then I have to take the 11 times the 495.
495 times 11. 5,445.
And then in order to solve that, we would
Divide by 605.
divide by our 605.
Equals 9.
9. So, 9 hours. If I go 605 miles in 11 hours, I can only go 495 miles if I drive for 9 hours because I drove for less time. So if I want to set up my proportion, knowing that 15 inches of wire costs 90 cents, at the same rate, how much in cents will 9 inches of wire cost?
So, the 90 on the top?
It doesn't matter which one's on the top,
Okay.
as long as you're consistent. So we're putting the 90 cents on top, which means we would put
The 15 on the bottom.
15 inches on the bottom.
And if the inches are on the bottom, then we're going to equal x over 9.
Exactly. So when we cross multiply, we would get
15x equals 90 times 9 equals 810.
so 15x equaled 90 times 9, which was 810, and then we're going to
Divide that by 15,
divide by 15.
and we get 54.
54?
X equals 54.
54 cents. So if it costs me 90 cents for 15 inches, it's only going to cost me 54 cents if I buy 9 inches.